On our previous lessons, we only studied the physical, cognitive, and social-emotional development of middle childhood or primary schoolers. Today, we'll discuss the physical development of intermediate schoolers as we move on to late childhood or the intermediate schooler.
Okay, let's proceed to my topic, which is the adolescence. So, firstly, adolescence is the exciting yet stressful time when your child transitions into adulthood. Many rapid changes and development take place during this time. So, and it's not always a smooth ride. This time, your child will begin to discover who they are and where they belong. So, let me share to you the definition of adolescence. So, adolescence is a period of transition in terms of physical, cognitive, and socio-emotional changes. The period of adolescence begins with the biological changes of puberty. So, when we say biological changes of puberty, your child will likely experience the growth spurt. So, the growth spurt will grow. And there are three specific ages of adolescence, which is the first, early adolescence, second, middle adolescence, third, late adolescence. So, we start from early adolescence. Early adolescence, characterized by puberty, may come at the age of 11 and 12. So, if your child age is 11 and 12, so let me call it early adolescence. And the second one is middle adolescence. Middle adolescence may meet identity issues within the age of 14 to 16. So, when we say middle adolescence, they meet their identity issues, physical issues, mental issues, maturity when they become 14 to 16 years old. So, and lastly, the late adolescent. Late adolescence marks the transition into adulthood at ages 17 and 20.
Puberty changes. So when we talk about puberty changes, of course, it is very familiar to us because each and everyone undergoes this kind of changes. So what is puberty changes? It is stated here that puberty changes is a hormone flooding during adolescence causes an acceleration known as growth spurts. So growth spurts includes in changes in our body dimensions such as our leg length, shoulder width, trunk length. Spurts in height is ascribed to trunk growth rather than our leg growth. Now let's talk about the difference between the puberty changes of a girl and a boy. So first, let's talk about the girls. The growth spurts of the girls generally begin at 10, reaching its peak at age of 11 and half, while slow continual growth occur for several more years. While the boys, their growth spurts began at the age of 12, reaching a peak at the age of 14 and declining at the age of 15 and a half, while slow continual growth continues in several more years. Among girls, 98% of adult height is generally reached at age of 16, while boys do so at the age of 17. Growth in height is conditioned by stages in bone maturation. The muscles also grow in terms of size and strength. Similar growth spurts occur for weight, muscle size, head and face maturation, and reproductive organs. All muscular and skeletal dimensions appears to take part in growth spurts during adolescence.
The secular trend is ascribed to varied factors such as interaction of genetic and environmental influences, improved health care and living conditions, and control of infectious disease. Better nutrition is a major factor, since this provides more protein and calories for humans from conception upwards. Observably, the secular trend in industrial countries appears to be leveling off, while the experience of secular trends is just starting in peasant economies of the world. The secular trend is the fact that puberty is starting earlier for boys and girls now than it did 100 years ago. The puberty when girls get their period, for example, has leveled off somewhat, but the beginning of puberty is still getting earlier, especially for the girls. So the secular trend in the human growth is the natural experiment, which highlights the complex interplay between genes, physiology, and environment, and determining the size and shape of individuals from one generation to the next. Sexual identity, adolescence. It is a time of sexual exploration and experimentation with sexual fantasies and realities of incorporating sexuality. The one's innermost concept of self as male, female, a blend of both or neither. In this stage, adolescence, the young individuals starting their exploration and experimentation of what true they are. Is it a pansexual? It could be a bisexual, and so on. Most of the people become aware of their sexual orientation when they reach the puberty. But it is possible for these feelings to change over time or never appear at all. Sexuality is a natural and healthy part of who we are, and it is made up of many different things.
Adolescence is a phase characterized by the exploration and experimentations of one's sexuality. This period involves navigating both realm of sexual fantasies and actual experiences that contribute to a person's understanding and incorporations of sexuality into their developing identity. Homosexual, girl to girl or boy to boy. Opposite sex, man attracted to woman or woman attracted to men. Bisexual orientation, both men and women. If someone attracted to both sexes, it means they have a bisexual orientation. Adolescence is a significant time for many individuals, including those who may be discovering and understanding their sexual orientation or gender identity. It's a period of self-discovery and identity formations for many individuals. Sensitization. This stage involves the initial awareness of same-sex attraction during childhood. Identity confusion. As the youth grows, they may experience inner turmoil and confusions about their sexual orientation. Identity assumption. Adolescence is marked by the individual coming out to themselves and others, adopting a self-definition as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Commitment. In young adulthood, the person makes a commitment to their sexual identity, embracing it as its lifestyle. Coming to terms with a positive LGBT identity can be challenging due to the various factors. Family dynamics may play a role, as some individuals fear potential rejection or lack of acceptance from their family. Cultural and religious influences can contribute to societal norms that may not align with diverse sexual orientation and gender identities, creating internal conflict. Additionally, the intersectionality of race adds another layer of complexity, as some racial or ethnic communities may hold distinct views on LGBT community. Overcoming this challenge often involves navigating personal growth, education, and fostering open dialogue with communities to promote understanding and acceptance.
So now let's tackle the topic, which is the self-esteem. So self-esteem is a major aspect of identity formation during the period of adolescence. So self-esteem is a major aspect, one of the major aspects of adolescence. and also define as one's thoughts and feelings about oneself, concept, and identity. So self-esteem and how we value and perceive ourselves, and it's based on our opinions and beliefs about ourselves, which can feel difficult to change. We might also think of this as self-confidence.
So, the implications for childcare, education, and parenting. To meet the physical development of adolescent children, parents need to be aware of manifestations of behavioral patterns that require closer communication, guidance, and support. Of course, it is very essential for the parents to be aware to all the changes that the adolescent is experiencing so that the support system that they needed will be fulfilled by them so that they can behave accordingly. So in school, teachers need to be aware of the possible drop in self-esteem among adolescent learners. Of course, as a teacher, we really need to be aware of the possible drop in self-esteem among our adolescent learners so that we can give them a proper advice on how are we going to handle not just their emotional aspect as well as their physical aspect during these stages. And we all know that we teachers are one of the molder of a child's development, and because of that, we really need to be aware of all the changes so that we can guide them properly on the possible changes that they are experiencing.
Body image and the adolescent. Consciousness about body image is strong during the adolescent period. It is important that adolescents feel confident about how they look, but the physical features of the human body, facial looks, body size, color of skin, and etc., depend on genetic heritage, which must be respected. In conclusion, body image has a significant effect on teens' physical and mental health. Positive body image can be encouraged by teaching teens to focus on functionality rather than physical appearance and providing health information that is not weight-focused. Unhealthy preteen and teenage body image is directly related to low self-esteem, which can lead to anxiety and anger. Developing a positive body image entails acceptance, appreciation, and respect for one's body in a holistic and balanced way. Because whether we will agree with this or not, adolescence is prone of body image issues as they go through physical and psychological changes. When your body changes, so you can image of yourself. Find out how your body image affects your self-esteem and what you can do. Take note, you are unique in your own way. That's why, embrace your flow.
To end this topic, let's always remember that the physical development of high school learners is a dynamic process that encompasses various changes in their bodies, overall health, and physical abilities. By the time the students reach high school, many of the significant physical changes associated with adolescence have typically occurred, but the process continues as they progress through these formative years. In conclusion, the physical development of high school learners is characterized by the completion of puberty, continued growth, refinement of motor skills, and the establishment of habits that contribute to lifelong health. It is a period where education about nutrition, exercise, and overall well-being plays a vital role in shaping healthy habits that can extend into adulthood.